All right. How's everybody doing? Thanks for hanging out. What are we going to work on tonight? We are going to work on... Chris Platt's doing good. Awesome. Yeah, it's Friday. How's everybody survive the week? Guess that's the important part. We're going to go back to figuring out how to launch Xcode. That's what we're going to do. We are going to go back to the work that we were doing on 3D video display on Monday and trying to figure that out. Now, something I did over the week was I asked Developer Duck about it, and it gave me a great example that looked relevant. You don't see the Discord in the description. I think this button will tell you. Yeah, that button. That's where the Discord is. I should link that in the description. Yeah, you can go there, hang out. There'll be a channel somewhere in there that'll be relevant to what you're posting. And yeah, I'm sure people will go in there and take a look. And yeah, like I said, I can take a look at it myself after the stream. It's just a lot easier to share code in there than it is on Twitch. Doesn't work really well there. And yeah. Definitely will be happy to take a look and try to list things out, or try to give advice, I guess. Anyway, yeah, Monday afternoon, really. Was trying to take a look at doing this 3D video preview. We've got export working. We've had export working for a while. Kind of did some refactoring of it Monday to prepare for doing this preview, and I think we got a little bit trying to figure out what we were doing, but we couldn't quite get it displayed. And anyway, meantime, throughout the week, I did discuss it with somebody else that I know it's working on something very similar, and was not quite able to figure out what we were doing there. Hey, No Good Nick, how are you doing? How was your week? Still couldn't quite figure it out, and then I did the obvious thing and asked Developer Duck, like, hey, how do I do this? And he gave me a great example that looked relevant. And then I quickly did nothing with that. And have since lost the example that it gave me. So we're going to ask it again. Hey, can you help out here? And hopefully it gives us a good example again. Because I lost the example that it did give me that looked relevant. But, yeah, let's take a look at that, see if it gives us a good answer. And if it does, then we will build out on that. And if it doesn't, then I don't know what we're going to do, because I'm going to have to just remember what we got. Try to remember what happened. But yeah, that's the goal. That's what we're going to do tonight. Not sure what channel to post this in. She posted it in random. Random would be fine. It'd be a good start, right? Let me try to remember what channels we even have in the Discord. Preferences, data folder, conversations. Has a history of conversation duck files. You're the best, Adam. That would help if I followed what you were saying. Library preferences. Data folder. I miss probably not preferences for a data folder, right? It's probably there's like a containers folder somewhere. Containers, maybe. Developer Duck. Yeah, that's the one. In the prefs window of DevDuck. Ah. Data folder. Show logs directory. Is this what we're looking for? Conversations. Okay. Probably somewhere in here. I just have to figure out which one is relevant. Okay, so not 2401. 0202. 0217. We're looking for something after 0219. 0221. Archives. Okay. And then can I sort this by date? Yes, I can. Hey, there we go. Okay, so it's probably one of these. I'm gonna go top secret mode for a second while we while I dig through these, because some of these might be work related. Shh, don't tell my work that I sometimes use developer doc for work. Archives has duck files, conversations has web requests, log files. Okay, I found it. Hey, this is awesome. Yeah, this is it. This is the one. Thank you, Adam. That was a lot easier than trying to remember the question I asked. I remembered that I mentioned sample buffer, and I remember that I asked about the specific display layer. But, you know, LLMs, not deterministic. No guarantee that I would have gotten the same thing. So yeah, that saved you a time or two as well? Yeah, no, great feature. Love that. I need a developer duck time machine window. But yeah, no, it's good to know that that's there. Because there have definitely been things that I've lost before that I was like, oh man, you know, I closed that or I quit developer duck without thinking about it. And I really want that again. Plus now I can go back and get all my drunk duck conversations again, right? Okay, can you show me an example of using AV sample buffer display layer to display a video, assuming that I have an array of properly timestamped CM sample buffers? And let's pull this up next to Xcode, so we can take a look at what we have and how close it is to what we want. Yeah, so this is what we ended up with last time, where we were like trying to figure out this time-based stuff, and that was not working. But yeah, I think that here start getting us into what we were trying to do. Same deal. CM time base. I think that this is a little bit dated of API, but it gets us close. This was part of the big rename, you know, master to source. So we now have, instead of CM time base create with master clock, it has an actual init CM time base source clock. Create it with the host time clock. That's that right there. I think these bits are C isms that they've gotten rid of. So that is basically what we're looking for here. This line is correct. Set time, control time base. Now, so this is saying time should be 0. So I think the equivalent of this line here is CM time base. So that gets us a time base. What's weird is this is creating a time base. We create a time base here. Oh, and then we set the control time base to time base, and then we're setting the time and the rate on the time base. Okay. I think that we could do this in a little bit more interesting of an order. For me, I would do this and this first, and then finally set the control time base at the very end. But let's well, hang on. First of all, let's see time base. Did we spell that correctly? This is a class, so it is reference typed. Reference type. Yeah, it's a reference type. Yeah, I said that right. So it doesn't really matter what order we do these in, but we'll match the code for now, just to make sure that we're playing along. All right, but then it says CM time base set time. So I think this is doing a very similar thing, but let's do exactly what it says, which is display layer dot control time base dot set time. And then this says set the time to 0. And then display layer dot control time base dot set rate to 1. I feel like that's probably not what we want. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about that. But what else are we trying to do? This is on init of the view. We're doing some stuff. And then this says request media data when ready. I think that's where we're actually going to start this. So we're going to get back into here. We're going to pull this after the fact. So we get our display layer. We get our time base. I'm going to leave that comment there, actually. And then we display layer request media data when ready. This says actually this is going to be deprecated. Use sample buffer renderers. Request media data when ready. Okay, so display layer dot sample buffer render. Wait, what was it called? Request. On dispatch queue.main. That doesn't seem like that's what that wanted. That does not build. That doesn't build because of things that we're doing here. We're gonna just put some tri-bangs in there. And now this is saying this is where we enqueue these. So I think we can work there. All right. That almost seems like that's going to work. Although this is saying that we need to do something special with the enqueue, which is that we need to wait each time. Let's see if the time-based stuff at least got us started. We're not really sure if this is going to work or not, but let's find out. If this doesn't work, then we'll come back and we'll add this. Media playing code always reminds you how little you know about media playing. Exactly. I mean, I know that I've definitely had to do stuff like this with the export code, because we had to wait on some of this as well. What is it? Video exporter 3D. We had to do very similar, like, okay, well, actually, we're going to wait for whether it's ready or not. Yeah, this is doing like KVO, are you ready? And then whenever that changes, if you're ready, then mess with these locks. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, and then we just like sit here and wait on it. And then we append stuff. Yeah. Fun times. Also, I love that our error handling is just print uh-oh. Absolutely nothing else. Just print uh-oh. We should probably figure that out. But anyway, for now, we're just gonna work with what we have. The fact that we're storing this duration here, I think, unfortunately, we need that duration for this timescale. I don't think that this 0 here is going to do what we want. I think we need this duration timescale. But, you know what? We're gonna see what we get. Howdy, howdy, donuts. Okay, so that doesn't seem to have done much. We're still getting just this plain window with nothing in it. Huh. I do think we want to leave our layer with a background color, just so that we know that it's there. Yeah, so that's definitely there. How's everyone's Friday evening? Doing pretty good. I'd say can't complain, but I can always complain. Complaining's pretty easy. Have no desire to complain. Let's go with that. Okay, so none of this worked. That's the real answer here. None of this worked. Set that breakpoint mostly just to see if anything happened. Wow, it says it's enqueuing a whole lot of things. That seems sketchy all on its own. Why are we enqueuing so many buffers? That's not right. Maddox said, had your first Vision Pro demo today and blown away. Genuinely did not expect to have that impactful of an experience. That's awesome. That's exciting. Yeah, no, it's, yeah, the first time that you put it on, it's pretty cool. I actually did not do the Apple demo. I was unable to do the Apple demo. They wouldn't let me do the Apple demo. So I just took it home and had to figure out everything myself. This is interesting. Why are we getting so many in-queued buffers? This almost makes me think that this request media with data when ready does not mean what I think it means. Still probably won't get it this time around. The price is rough, but extremely excited to see where this form factor goes. Yeah, I do feel like that's the right way to handle it. Unless you're really a... And it's not even just the price tag. It's also kind of the early adopter experience that you're gonna get it, and it's like, okay, there's still bugs. Window management's kind of gross. You know, there's not a whole lot to do with it yet, unless you're really into watching movies. So I do think that there's a lot of kind of growth pains or you know, early adopter syndrome with it too. And so, yeah, if you're not actively in terms of like, I want to figure out what this is capable of, I want to build experiences for it, I want to, you know, push the boundaries of this, or, you know, I really just want to be in on the ground floor early in terms of like understanding what this is capable of, it's not really a device for most people. Like I would not recommend it to most people. It's very similar. I think that I keep hearing this comparison, and I think it's an app comparison. Like, it's very much like the first Apple Watch. First Apple Watch kind of sucked. It was pretty bad. I don't think the Apple Vision Pro is quite that bad as what it is, but it is in the same realm of like, this is not it. Like, this is not what it's going to be long term. People will figure out what this is for. People are going to build way better experiences. It's going to be lighter. It's going to be higher quality. It's going to be everything. And yeah, that's it. So it's interesting that currently doing the extended screen with Mac is only one window. Donut says, wait, what? That was the only thing that you were exciting for was using your Mac in VR. I think it depends on what your definition of window is with regards to crosswalk. Yes, you only get one screen for your Mac in VR. That is not one window. Well, it's one Vision Pro window displaying your Mac, but you can have as many windows on your Mac as you want, but it's basically just like a single virtual screen. I don't know if that clarifies anything for either one of you. Here, I can actually show you exactly what this looks like. Hold on. Let's take a detour. They lied during the release in WWDC? I don't think so. I think they showed exactly what it was capable of doing. Hang on, let's give it a demo. I'm quitting everything that I don't want to share publicly. You all can check out the fact that I was watching a YouTube video about Taco Bell, though. I'm okay with that one. I'm just closing anything that's work related or personal chats, anything like that. Yeah, I'll show what it's doing. 1 second. Wants me to enter my password in settings. I'm not doing that right now. I've actually never tried both sharing my screen and... He's entered the Matrix, yes. I've never tried both sharing my screen and using the Mac Virtual Display at the same time. You haven't lost me. I'm not lost at all. I don't know what you're talking about. You're gonna lose me in a minute, but... Alright, let's see if this works. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna turn down this machine. But yeah, this is showing my I'm trying to manipulate 3 different screens at the same time, and it's very difficult. This is the window that I have for my Mac. This is for this MacBook Air over here. This is not for the Mac Studio that I stream on. This is for like my little stream preview window over here. And yes, we're going to do a bit of a Hall of Mirrors effect right here, but this is Twitch chat here. And yeah, this is just the virtual display for this machine. Creates a much bigger screen than I normally get. This is a full 4K, I think, display. But yeah, I can move around whatever I want on here. I've got Developer Dock. I've got Finder. I've got, you know, my window screen down here. I can open Discord. I can do whatever. How's the resolution? Resolution looks fine to me. It's totally readable, totally clear. Anything like that, I can make it ridiculous. At this point, yeah, the resolution's not great. I mean, it's still pretty good, but I mean, I'm used to the studio display, so high-res display. This is fine. It's not, you know, the screen door effect that you get on like the Quest. It's not, you know, I would say that this is still better even than like a Dell display, a not Retina display. You can read text easily on it. Yeah, super easily. Everything's totally fine. Yeah, I mean, like, even this... Oh, I'm using the wrong trackpad and everything here. Even, like, this text down here that's relatively low contrast and small, even everything here, this is all completely fine. Yeah, it is definitely higher resolution than a 1080 Dell 27-inch. Yes. It's definitely higher resolution than that. Yeah, I'm saying it's not great in comparison to the Studio display, any of the Retina display that you get elsewhere. You had a Gen 1 Oculus, like the Rift or the Quest. Text doesn't come through the stream as well as it actually looks in the headset. Yeah, no. Almost certainly not. Well, especially since, like, for you all, it's doing the foveated rendering. Is it noticeable at all? Not primarily, no. I would say you can get it very much at the, like, corner of your eyes. So, like, I don't notice it at all on anything that's, I would say, in the window. Like, I'm staring at at Adam's message right now. I don't notice it really on anything except what's at the very corners over here. And yeah, you all can probably see when I do, like, glance to the side or whatever. But, like, it looks relatively normal over here. Like, anything that's over in the corner, like, underneath the text over here, that looks just like, oh, yeah, it's in my peripheral vision, so I can't really tell. The text over here is actually still relatively readable. The stuff that's over in Developer Dock. This here, I can tell that it's pretty blurry off in the corners of my eyes. It's almost like a binoculars type effect where, you know, if you're holding a pair of binoculars up to your head, which I mean is basically what you're doing, that stuff in the very corner of it is kind of like warped, I guess it would be the best way of wording it. But even, like, if I then, like, look over at it, even just slightly, I can read it just fine. And, you know, like, anything over here, all of that, that's all totally fine and readable. And then anything, like, here is way more readable than whatever's happening in the real world. Like, I can read this tiny text here better than I can the text, like, the word Stream Deck at the top of the Stream Deck here. Because the pass-through is worse than what you see on the actual camera screen. I hope that answers generally what you're looking for. And then, yeah, I could shrink it down and, oh god, now I can't read anything. I got the little tiny baby Mac screen. But yeah, like, putting it up here is great. Could you spend 8 hours a day using it as a monitor? 8 hours with it on the entire time? Probably not, no. 8 hours with, you know, 2 hours at a time, take a 15-minute break. Yeah, probably. Heard it's pretty heavy. It is pretty heavy. It definitely takes some getting used to, not so much the weight of it, but more like where to put it so that the weight's not bothering you so much. And so I've messed around with it quite a bit. I got to take the headphones off to kind of demonstrate what I'm doing. Getting this solo band, and so let me turn around. Y'all get to, like, just randomly stare at things in my house as I, like, point to other things. Getting this into a place where exactly this sits on my head to use the weight the best has been one of the more difficult things to learn. So, like, I'm trying to, again, show this some more. I used to wear it, like, down here because I thought that felt more comfortable. And this definitely presses on my forehead. Also, I don't know how well y'all can hear me. This definitely presses on my forehead. And so, like, after 15, 20 minutes, this is painful. It feels more comfortable when you first switch it there, but you can definitely feel it after a minute or two. Like, this is not comfortable. So I found, and now I got to fix my hair after redoing this, leaving it to sit just, like, right here. Definitely lets me work it a lot longer. There's also the other band that has, like, 2 pieces on it. I keep trying to use that. I don't find that comfortable at all. Like, people say that it helps with the weight a lot more. I disagree. I don't think that that works very well. We got to reconnect this guy. Get a little bit less of the Hall of Mirrors effect for you. So yeah, I would say 8 hours straight probably couldn't do. 2 hours at a time with like 15-minute break in between. Get up, go grab a coffee, go to the restroom, anything like that. I think it would be totally fine to hit 8 hours in that. Have I done that and can say that for a fact? No, I haven't. But yeah, I gotta readjust this a little bit more because I was messing with it too much to prove things. Let me adjust that a little bit more. Yeah, now I'm good. Move this out of here. Maybe you could tie a bunch of party balloons to the headset to offset the weight. So I have seen people that have attached a thing where they're wearing a ball cap and they're putting some of the weight on the brim of the cap. And I actually kind of want to try that. I need to wait for my buddy who has a 3D printer to get back. He's been on vacation. And get him to print me one of those adjustment things because I think that would work pretty well. But no, I want to try that out. But I mean, for what it is right now, I think it's been totally fine. Yeah. Do I think I could wear it 8 hours straight? No, I don't think that I could do that at all. Especially now that I futzed with it and it's a little bit offset. I wonder why they didn't put the compute on the back of it or on the battery pack. Yeah. Definitely putting the compute in the battery pack. My guess is that they just couldn't get the speed up fast enough across the wire that they have. That's the only thing I can think of. That's not quite right. But I don't know. As to why they didn't put the battery pack, like I don't think that they could have put the battery pack on it. I definitely have seen some people like, why didn't they put the battery pack on the very back and then it balances better? That would be just way too heavy. Yeah, latency would be your guess as well. Display cables are pretty thick and inflexible. Would they have to put the display on it? I don't know. Yeah. Latency, I think, is probably part of it. But what would be interesting is they've got the whole 2 processor thing. They've got the like real-time processor, the R1, and then they've got the M2 that's doing all the like actual calculation stuff. I think they could leave the R1, the RTOS part in the headset and then move all of the M2 type computation into the pack. Latency is pretty low at that distance. I think the R1 stuff, the pass-through stuff, it would still be way too high. Like the pass-through latency that they have on here is the selling point of what they've got. Like the pass-through latency is why it's $3,500. When they release the R2 version, they better have a D2 chip. But yeah. I think that the pass-through. Here, I'm gonna snooze this. If I can find the right trackpad somewhere in my life. I'm gonna snooze those ads for a second. Time for signals to travel a foot or two is not the issue. I think for the pass-through stuff, it is actually. The latency for the pass-through has to be ridiculously low. You won't buy it otherwise? You won't buy what otherwise? You won't buy it otherwise for what, I guess? I gotta scroll back to wherever your last message was. You won't buy it if they don't have the R2D2? I'm not sure if that's what you're responding to. I've lost track of the conversation. If it doesn't have an R2 and a D2 chip in it, yeah. No, that's great. You've got the RTOS chip and then the display chip. It's the R2 chip and the D2 chip, and yeah, no, I think that works. All right, but we're gonna back out of this so we can get back into coding realm. So we're gonna stop mirroring, and then we're gonna just take this off. Ooh, that actually, I don't know how it's balanced on my head right now, but that made it very easy to just pop off. I can just go, let's do that. Bring our display back. All right, I gotta catch back up. Star Wars Cantina immersive space would be amazing. So, dang it, now I gotta show you this. They actually do have Tatooine. It's not the Cantina, but hold on. Now I got to go back in and show you that they do, in fact, have that. Quick Draw versus Han. The weight of the headset isn't just due to my prescription. No, the weight of the prescription is nothing. You're looking at Xcode. Yeah, hold on. I'll get you there. I'll get you there. And no, you don't have to hold your hand up like this to gesture with things unless you have a microphone in the way of your thing. That one's a problem. Do that. He's got to pretend he's a Jedi. Yeah. See, if I have my hand down here, it can't see my hand right now because I've got the microphone in the way. So I kind of have to hold it up here in order to interact with it. Okay, now where is the Disney Plus window? I booted up Disney Plus. Where is it? Okay, maybe I'm not going to show you anything because Disney Plus doesn't want to behave. Yeah. You just gotta, force quit the Disney Plus app. Then log in. Then you can do it, right? Can you even share that content? I thought DHCP would prevent that. So I don't think that I can share if I start playing a movie, but I'm hoping I can share the immersive location. But yeah, if I start playing an actual movie, that'll probably just show up as a black screen. Here, I'm waiting for Tatooine to download, but until Tatooine downloads, let's pull up Avengers Tower, which I already have. Let's see if that'll work. Yeah, I think you're seeing it now. So yeah, if I look over here, we've got the Hulkbuster armor. Got some pictures of the Doctor Strange stuff down there. You got Iron Man helmet, Mjolnir, Cap shield. I need to crank up the immersion of it to see some of the stuff down here. There's the burger that he got in Iron Man 1. Some Kimoyo beads. I forgot the name of them. The bangle from Ms. Marvel. A bunch of different Iron Man suits. Oh, I don't remember what was all on the... I don't remember seeing this shelf over here before. I've never turned all the way around. Bunch of other cool stuff in here, which I'm pretty sure you all can see. Hold on, let's turn it back down and make sure. What all can you see? Okay, apparently I can't actually crank it all the way down. Okay, yeah, you can definitely see this. Tatooine now. Let's look at Tatooine. Okay, so you're in a speeder, I don't know my Star Wars words as much as I know my Avengers words. You have places. You got suns. 2 suns. You got more speeders. You got the Jawa thing. I don't remember what the Jawa thing is called. It's got a name. I don't remember what it is. You got rocks. You got dirt. That's all you got. You got rocks and you got dirt. You got suns. All right. Let's get back out of here. Yep. All right. What always say? The Andor Brutalist apartment block. So many possible cool locations. Sandcrawler. Yeah, there you go, Donuts. That's what it was. I knew it had a name. I couldn't remember what it was. And yeah, there's an ad break going, so probably a bunch of people just missed everything that I was showing. Sorry. My bad. All right, let's get back into trying to actually code for a minute here. Why did I put this on in the... Did I put all this on just to show off the thing? I think I did. Yeah, to show off the text rendering. That's what it was. But, you know, while we're here, why don't we try to see if this is running on the OS? Yes, you did? Okay. Let's see what happens if we tried just running the app anyway. Why not? That gives us a reason to have it on. And yes, I know you can just see Xcode right now. I'll let you in a minute. I also need to bring back my app that lets me look at chat in here. Okay. Now I got chat in there, so once we get Kineo running again. Oh, it didn't build. Because I forgot to set this back to automatic signing. And yeah, like right now I'm just interacting with Xcode by seeing it. Are you working on the video part of the app? I am working on the video part of the app. That is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to work on being able to preview it before you actually save it, is what I'm trying to do right now. All right, let's get this back shared. Come on. We are gonna have to hope that we can actually get this running, because if this is just hung in Xcode, then we don't really have any answers. Thank you for the follow, somebody. Have you tried coding in the Vision Pro yet? No, I have not. No, that's actually not true. I have actually tried coding in the Vision Pro. I have not tried doing iOS development in the Vision Pro yet. I did do some coding in there's an app on here called Runestone. And I tried to do some of that with some TypeScript, because it has TypeScript support and can connect to a different app in here called Law Terminal to do SSH stuff. So I had all of that working. And then 2 streams ago, I was doing some development on the Mac. Holy crap, is this finally going to actually launch? Trying to set up being able to develop in Emacs, do iOS development in Emacs, solely so that I could eventually try to get all of that working in Law Terminal so that I could do iOS development entirely in the Vision Pro without anything else. But I've not actually gotten all of that working together yet. All right. I'm assuming you all are seeing everything in here. Screen sharing is working. Yes? No? Okay, cool. All right, so let's see if this is any better in the app. No. All we still have is this blue box. Nothing else. Okay, so I think we can assume that if it's not working in the simulator, it's not going to work in the actual headset either. So, lack of iOS dev support for Emacs or NeoVim. Well, hey, thank you for the sub, Nutterfy. Also, thank you earlier for the follow, Macaque Dory Iceberg, who I could not see the follow while I was in there. You nutter. All right, let's hang this back up for a minute. Lost connection to the debugger. How could it? Oh, I thought you were calling him a nutter for subscribing to me. Only a complete nutcase would be doing that. All right. How is that experience? Do you feel like it's clear when coding in the Vision Pro, or is it blurry? It's not blurry. It's definitely not blurry. I would say that the development experience of coding with the Mac pass-through is a compromised enough experience that I preferred using the native stuff, and that's why I was using Law Terminal and Runestone to do development in completely native Vision OS apps as opposed to using the Mac pass-through. And so that's why that's why I was really wanting to do that stuff as opposed to using the Mac pass-through. And it's not so much that it's blurry as that it's like you can't place windows everywhere. You have to use the trackpad and keyboard that's attached to your Mac. That kind of stuff. As opposed to what Donuts is asking right now, which is that I had a keyboard hooked up to the Vision Pro using the apps natively, but then, you know, all of the mouse type stuff is pinch and move. That doesn't work with the Mac. You have to use an actual trackpad attached to the Mac. It's kind of, it just doesn't feel right like a Vision Pro. So yeah, I hooked up a keyboard, used the keyboard that was attached to the Vision Pro to do all of the development there. That works so much better than using the Mac pass-through stuff. Mac pass-through stuff is great if you really need a Mac for whatever you're doing, but the experience of using the Vision Pro stuff where you can actually have like multiple windows, you can place them there, and you can just say like, okay, I need this over here for a reference, and here's my actual code, and then like if I'm running something, it's going over there, yada, yada, yada. Does pass-through require a trackpad, or you can use a mouse? It just requires something attached to the Mac itself, as opposed to attached to the Vision Pro. That was the concern there. And then I think if you have your Mac, if you have something connected to the Mac, you can then use the things that are controlling your Mac to control the stuff in Vision OS through Universal Control. But it's all starting with the Mac first, and then being controlled by the Mac to the Vision Pro. It's not as good of an experience as using the stuff natively. But of course, using the stuff natively does not include Xcode. So that's why I was trying to do all of the stuff that got it all working in Emacs and VS Code, because then that means you don't have to have Xcode. Donuts the other day. Yeah, that's the biggest bummer for me, is the lack of iOS dev support for Emacs and NeoVim. I've got a YouTube video for you. I should have a button to point to YouTube, but youtube.com @Cocotype. Got a video right here. It says it's not in my popular videos because not enough people watched it. Cocotype live streams. iOS dev without Xcode. Got a whole video. Emacs and VS Code. has it working in there. I know it does also work with NeoVim, but I don't have NeoVim installed. I've not used NeoVim. I was not about to try to teach myself a new IDE at the same time. But yes, NeoVim also works. Ping me in the Discord after chat, and I will link you to a article that is all about doing it in NeoVim, which is actually what I was cribbing from to figure out how to do it in Emacs. So yeah, it does. There is NeoVim support. I just don't remember how to do it, or sorry, I don't remember how to do it. I know exactly how to do it. I don't know NeoVim well enough, and I don't have it installed, and I don't know how to install plugins and stuff for NeoVim. So I did not want to attach that to the same I didn't want to try to do that at the same time that I was trying to figure out how to set up Xcode as well. There we go. Finally got through that sentence. That was a journey. That sentence was, but I got there. I was already trying to figure out the tough part of hooking iOS development up to the tools I already know how to use. I didn't want to throw in learning a new tool all at the same time. There's that sentence as it was meant to be. That sentence, the director's cut, as it were. But yes, ping me on Discord after the chat, and I will send you a link to a whole article that's out there about using NeoVim specifically that I was copying from and trying to just port that to Emacs, basically. All right. So what we found is the things that we don't know don't work. Let's go on to here, which is the stuff that we haven't implemented yet. And I think we're going to have to copy this, but then we also need to copy the stuff that we have in Video Exporter 3D to kind of handle it. Do you think Apple is going to release its own ChatGPT soon? I would be shocked. I don't think they will, no. I think that they... Let me figure out how I want to word this. I think that they will... Yeah, what Donuts? Donuts is getting to what I'm trying to say a lot faster than I am. Apple, I think, has a lot of this AI ML stuff working, but I think they like to bury it under layers of... Some might call it polish, some might call it limitations, that kind of thing. And they won't ever expose it directly to users in the way that like an LLM would work. I don't think that they would hook that up. They will do stuff a lot more like, you know, kind of like Google has done with some of its generative AI things, where they're saying, you know, like if you look at their photos, they're like, oh, you know, you can like combine the best of multiple photos, or you can do the magic eraser trick where, you know, we're filling in, we're, you know, like we're getting rid of something and we're filling in the background of where something previously was. That kind of generative AI tool where it's like we're enhancing stuff rather than we're directly exposing this power to you. I think, you know, I'm not going to get into the culture war aspects of it, but Google just had some not fun experiences with their AI tools recently, and I think Apple very much never wants to be in that position. So I think that Apple is happy to put all kinds of guardrails in front of it and not expose that kind of tool to developers, simply because they don't want to end up with people misusing it, I guess, for lack of a better term. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Apple absolutely does not want to expose that kind of stuff to the world. And even like, even if you're not getting into the like misuse type thing, I think that you're, you know, there's enough brand unsafety around just AI in general Especially with Apple still, they don't have this as much as they did in like the 90s and early 2000s of like Apple is the tool for creatives. Like Mac computers are for people who are artists, for people who are music producers, for people who are anything like that. A lot of these people reasonably say like, hey, you know, AI is, you know, taking our jobs, or, you know, not even like taking our jobs, but like, you know, diminishing the role of artists in society, that kind of thing. And I think that it would be damaging to Apple's brand to have those kind of tools even available, to say almost Apple putting their lot in and saying like, we're on the side of the machines against creatives. I think that Apple, you know, it's bad optics for Apple to be seen as being on the side of generative AI, even generally. Like, regardless of what people create with it. I think that, you know, Apple doesn't want to be in that. There was a similar thing with the Arc browser recently. Like, they did a new thing where, you know, you can pinch a link and have it just like summarize the article for you if you're at like a news article. And a lot of journalists are like, hey, you know, I, you know, put a lot of work into writing these things. I don't want it rewritten for me by a machine. That's just, you know, automated plagiarism effectively. And I think that some of those people have a point. I definitely think that it's not, you know, I'm not going to say everybody's right, everybody's wrong, yada, yada. You know, this is way more complicated than I am qualified to give points on. But regardless of whether or not it's true, or whether or not, you know, without getting into, I guess, you know, saying one person's feelings are valid or invalid, it's going to be harmful for Apple's brand regardless. You know, people are going to have strong opinions about this, and I think they're right to have strong opinions on that kind of stuff. And if Apple is saying like, hey, we're going to provide this tool that does writing for you, you know, gets rid of writers, gets rid of creatives, gets rid of people making art or making video or making, you know, podcasts, that's not historically Apple's brand. Apple is more on the side of people who are building these things. And so I don't think that Apple will expose generative AI directly, because that kind of pits them against their historical base, I guess, would be the way that I would put that. I think what they're much more likely to do is say like, hey, we're adding these tools to our professional software, whether that's Logic or Final Cut Pro or anything like that, to, or Xcode for that matter, to provide enhancements, but not to replace. So I don't see them doing anything like Copilot, but I do see them doing maybe some advanced autocomplete, something like that. I don't know. I don't see them building, I don't see them Sherlocking Developer Duck anytime soon. That's for sure. Much as I would like them to provide enhancements to better integrate Developer Duck with Xcode. You know, I would love for Apple to open it up a bit more so that developers like Adam can integrate with it a little bit better. But I don't see Apple themselves doing anything like that. Yeah, I just want them to open up Xcode. Exactly. I mean, I keep saying, you know, Peter and I have been talking about this new editor, Zed.dev. It's a very fast, I'm sorry for the sudden influx of bright light, but it's a very fast, nice, extensible development tool. I think Apple should just back up a dump truck of money to them, say, hey, we're buying you, and we're gonna make this the best extensible Swift developer tool that there is. This is what we're gonna just base everything on your tool. Even though it doesn't currently support Swift, we're gonna make it support Swift, and we're just gonna make it this nice extensible editor that it's not Cocoa native, but it's, you know, not web tech either. So it's not this slow, you know, it's not web tech. Let's put it that way. It's not web tech. I think Apple would be happier with that. So yeah, it is written in Rust. No, that it is written in Rust. Yes, the other way around. Correct. I don't think Apple has a problem with that, honestly. I think Apple's okay with stuff that's written in Rust. I mean, good God, Xcode itself is certainly not written in mostly Swift. I would say Xcode's probably not written in mostly Objective-C. Swift itself is written in a whole lot of C++. I'm sure they're okay with Rust tools. All right, are we getting back into here? Rust is a relatively new language. Is it older or newer than Swift? That's a good question. Uh, 2015, so I want to say it's slightly newer than Swift. Yeah, Swift was released in 2014, so it's a year newer than Swift. Now, Wikipedia, I don't know why you're... It's like, oh, we detected a dark mode. Yeah, Rust is a year newer than Swift. I know that Rust has had a lot of influence on Swift, though. Swift definitely keeps stealing ideas from Rust and making them easier to use. All right, we're getting back in here. We need to implement this. This has a comment in here. Handle the situation when the layer is not ready. So that we're going to steal from our other code. Rust has also had a lot of drama. That's true. Yeah, so I'm going to just copy this code so that we can hide developer duck for a minute and put it back on the other window so it's not here taking up space right now, but let's put that code here. Let's move this back off. I wish there was a way to easily split stuff from here. It's a programming language, not a middle school, but you can't convince me of that. Hey, there's plenty of drama everywhere. It's the internet. You can't not have drama. And then, yeah, video exporter 3D. We're going to pull that up side by side. Okay, so yeah, because this is what I think we need to do here, is that we need something like this NS condition. And then this lock here to handle the situation when the layer is not ready for more data. What was the last Swift drama genuinely asking? I remember the case. I'm trying to remember what the specifics were. But relatively often there's a thing that happens on the Swift development forums where Apple comes along and they're like, we're going to do things this way. And they don't really explain themselves. They're just like, we're Apple, we're in charge here. And that causes a lot of drama. I want to say, was it some of the ownership stuff? The biggest one of those was definitely trailing closure syntax. Where, or no, maybe not even trailing closure syntax, but Sorry, not specifically trailing closure syntax, but the additional trailing closure syntax where you could have multiple closures at the end of something. People really didn't like that. Apple was just like, nope, we're going to do it this way. Result builders, which Apple didn't want to tell anybody about. Yeah, function builders. Yeah. Apple didn't want to tell anybody about SwiftUI. So they're like, we're adding this new feature to the language. And everybody's like, why? Why would we want this? And Apple's like, doesn't matter whether you want it or not. Just get rid of it. We're just going to do it. And yeah, there's a lot of drama there. There was another one recently. And I'm trying to remember what the specifics were. But yeah, people got real mad about it. But yeah, that's the flavor of drama that we have in the Swift community. I don't remember the specifics of the most recent one. It all started with the removal of plus plus. I think most people were on board for that one. Hang on, I'm gonna look this up because now it's bothering me. It was back in December. I've found that part. SwiftUI feels like a wasted opportunity? Say more. I'm curious as to what you feel about that. They didn't put UI layout on a different thread. That's a reasonable one. Ah, okay, I found it. Hang on, let me bring this back up to the top. Maybe. Yeah, source availability of it would be nice, especially since then it might be separated from OS releases. That would be good. Yeah, this one got pretty heated. I don't remember why, but I definitely remember people, like, there's 444 posts in this thread. I don't remember what people were mad about here. The thin keyword used is so bizarre. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember why this was so heated, but I definitely remember people got really weird about it. Yeah, oh well. I'm not going to go through all of the drama that apparently is still going on today. But yeah, people were definitely pretty upset about this for some reason. I don't remember enough of the details to dig into it right now. But yeah, there is the question. Scrolling performance is bad for virtualized list. So I've heard this a lot lately. I don't know where this meme suddenly came from. I don't understand why people are suddenly talking about this. Did ATP or somebody talk about this? Scrolling performance is bad for virtualized lists. Because I've heard that a lot recently, and I don't know. I don't know why suddenly people are talking about it a lot. Anything virtual is bad? This is true, Eaglenut. I agree. I have not personally ever had any problems with scrolling performance in lists, but I'm not saying that it's not a problem. I'm just saying I don't know why it's suddenly a big problem that people are talking about it a lot. No good, Nick. Don't listen to anything Eaglenut says. No, Eaglenut is the reason we have a ban computers emoji. All computers are bad. Anything virtual is bad. Everything related to computers is incredibly bad. All right, we're gonna go back to this code. I keep saying that we're gonna go back to this code, and I keep not actually going back to this code. In queue buffers. So we have an array of sample buffers. Okay, so this is the problem, is that we don't actually have an array of sample buffers, do we? We have a tool that will give us an array of sample buffers, or that will call us for each of our CM tag buffers. So we actually don't have this. What we have is, are we ready or not? Don't tell anyone, but you haven't used SwiftUI yet. That's fair. I mean, most of my apps are still primarily UIKit. Only time scrolling dunks on me is when it accidentally auto scrolls to the top. That's an obnoxious. SwiftUI started spewing auto layout constraint errors? That sounds sketchy. SwiftUI doesn't use auto layout. I mean, it's under the hood, obviously, but yeah. Okay. So in queue sample buffers, for sample buffer in sample buffers, check to see if the buffer can be added. So this needs to go somewhere in here. If sample buffer display layer, which is actually just called display layer, if display layer dot is ready for more media data. Sorry, we actually need this. Is ready for more media data. Yeah, no, this is, I think we got this backwards. We start exporting the video. We have our format description. We have our sample buffer. I think if we're ready for more media data. Yeah, okay. What does request media data do? Tells the input to request media data at its convenience to then write to the output file. This is not the right one. At its convenience in order to gather sample buffers for display. So yeah, this is not what we want. Sorry, we don't want this on the outside. We want to say request media data when ready. And then we want to... Yeah, no, I think that what we want here is we want to ask, are you ready? If you are ready, in-queue it. I don't think I have this right. I think I'm actually going to copy this one. So we're setting up basically a lock here. Yeah, this is the tricky part. This is not where we want this. I guess what we want here is... We're going to say dispatch queue.main right now. I don't think that's ultimately where we really want this, but we're going to start there. Things are very unhappy at me right now. I think I've got a mismatched curly at some point. So this sets up how we watch for stuff. Yeah, see, we've got something wrong here. There we go. So we start exporting this video. We lock here. We run a while loop while this is false. We wait. Yeah, I think this is what we want. Actually, we should totally leave that print there. But then, yeah, now we can remove this if, because this if is blocked by this part. Okay, I think we're actually good here. Let's try that. I have no idea if this is going to work or not, but we're going to try it anyway. We're not going to run this on the actual device. We're going to run this in the simulator. Interestingly, that definitely took a minute. It was not immediately responsive. It did in-queue a bunch of buffers. But it's still not playing. This is the problem. I don't know what we're doing wrong. Yeah, see, that definitely takes longer now. The waiting thread is holding the lock. You might be right. I mean, it's clearly not deadlocking because it is actually enqueuing all these buffers. But yeah, the fact that this is on dispatch queue.main does seem like that would deadlock. Unless this is not on dispatch queue on main. Does it never actually wait, perhaps? That's also a good question. Let's check that idea first. Yeah, that's the answer. So basically this has no difference from what we were trying earlier, other than the fact that we're not constantly re-enqueuing the buffers. But it's still not actually playing anything, is my problem. I'm curious about these two things. The time base not being sent. See, this is the problem. I don't understand. Can we even tell whether or not this thing is playing anything? How many coding languages do I know? That's a good question. Quite a few. How much do I have to know in order to say that I know it? Let's go rank them. Let's go to Emacs and let's just do this in a scratch note. Languages that I would say that I'm like completely fluent in. If you can print hello world, you know it. Oh. That's a long list. Yeah, I was gonna say I can say hello world in a lot of languages. So let's say fluent in, let's say comfortable in. Let's say familiar with. So this is, I can write it backwards and forwards all day. Don't worry about it. This would be, I could get back into it pretty quickly. This is mostly stuff that I was fluent in at one point, but am probably rusty on now. And this is, I can muddle my way through it because I have some experience with it, but you know, I've never been fluent with, and I really would need to just basically muddle my way through it, searching something the entire time. So I think here's the layers, and this should get you familiar with it pretty quickly. Swift, definitely fluent in. Comfortable in. Ruby, familiar with. Bash. Like, I can write Bash. I'm not happy writing Bash, and I need, like, a handheld the entire way. So what else am I fluent in? Objective-C, definitely. I'd say TypeScript. Anything else that I would say I'm absolutely fluent in? Not anymore. I mean, Ruby used to be in the fluent in, definitely. As did Clojure. Would be another one that was definitely fluent in. Familiar with, let's just start listing things familiar with. Python, Kotlin. No, definitely don't know JavaScript. That goes in familiar with. Gotta pad those numbers? No. No, okay, maybe not familiar with. Maybe comfortable in. What else? I feel like I'm blanking. I don't know Perl. I don't know Perl at all. PowerShell would go in comfortable in. This is my... I know this because I don't know Bash. Oh yeah, eLisp. C would go in familiar with. I don't know Rust at all. C++, I haven't written C++ in forever. I would not say I would be familiar with C++. I mean, does SQL count? I don't know QBasic. Lua I would be familiar with. I'll throw Lua in familiar with. SQL counts? Okay. Lua is one-based. Brainfuck, no. Where's the, yeah, TOB index. This is what I need here. Python, C, C++, Java. Java goes in familiar with. Or, sorry, comfortable in, I would say. You actually was not counting Bash and PowerShell. Interesting. Go would go in familiar with. Or, sorry, comfortable in. Visual Basic, PHP. PHP might go in familiar with. C#. I would actually say C#. I would almost call that fluent in, although it's been a while since I've written it, so it might actually be comfortable in. F# familiar with. I really wanted to be good at F#, but I never got good at F#. CSS Turing complete. Technically speaking, yes. MATLAB, Assembly, Scratch, Swift, Kotlin, Rust, COBOL, Ruby. I don't even know. Who's not comfortable in Go, right? Other programming languages. Go through the list, see if there's anything in here. I would say Haskell was comfortable in at one point. I don't think it even makes the list anymore. Fortran, no. Yeah, I don't know any of these languages on this list. I knew a little bit of ActionScript at one point. Not anymore. I tried learning Elixir. I didn't get very far with it. I don't know any Zig. I see that on the list too, but I don't know it. I've never even heard of Odin. Is that on the list? I don't even see that one. Scala was another one of those that I tried to learn at one point and never did. Scala was the next big Ruby replacement at one point. Never took off. OCaml is another one of those. I was going to say, did I even ever try to learn it, or did I always just wish that I could learn it? I don't think I ever really even gave OCaml a serious try. OCaml seems like a fun language, but I don't think I've ever taken the time to try to learn it. There's another one that's, was Reason ML? There's another related one. I think that was another one that was like, oh, this is kind of cool. This looks a lot like Haskell. Which I guess OCaml also would have been. I listed Go. Go's in there. I didn't learn Go in school. I learned Go in my first job outside of school. We did a little bit of Go there. I mean, I ran the place, so we did a little bit of Go there because I wanted to learn Go. You did nearly your whole undergrad in Java? Same. He learned 2 on the go. Yeah, I think undergrad was almost entirely Java. We had a C class right at the very end. There was technically a VB class at the beginning, but I skipped that class. I tested out of that class. We didn't do any scheme. Yeah, I think we did almost entirely Java. Scheme was the weed out intro course. Yeah, so I think this is my list. And I guess we could throw in that last one, like, would like to be familiar with. What was that? That was OCaml. Elixir. Oh my god, can I spell? I thought there was another one in the list that I was like, oh yeah, I would have liked to have learned that one. Oh yeah, we can also do. Used to know. Yeah, I think that's all of the list. There you go. I mean, that's a decent list, right? All right, let's go back to seeing what this had to say. Might be missing the actual play command to start the time-based quack. After setting up the time base and enqueuing the buffers, you need to ensure that the time base is started in quack. Here's a snippet that starts the time base. Okay, yeah, that would help. But this is doing everything that I want. Also, it starts throwing quack. Quack, ensure the layer is not in a failed state. But yeah, I mean, it seems to be saying you need to make sure to do this. And we are definitely doing. Oh, CM time base start. Hold up. CM time base. I think he might be hallucinating. Yeah, I don't think that's a real thing. I'm curious as to what the CM times 0 means. I feel like that's not actually what we want. But then also, what is set rate? Okay, so I think I need to understand what both of these things are. Rate is... sets the rate. Okay, but what is that? The current rate relative to its immediate primary clock or time base. I think this time needs to be something different. We have a different time scale somewhere. See if that does anything. Y'all, I don't know what's going wrong. It's the only other thing I remember from the code that we didn't do. Wasn't it? I'm stuck. I'm gonna just paste all of my code into here. Be like, why doesn't this work? Wow, I can't spell. This tool here is called Developer Duck. It's by Adam Wolf, who's in the stream, in the chat. And it's a Mac native GPT front end for that's like fine-tuned for development purposes. I don't know what's wrong. I really don't know what's wrong. Yep, it's just developerduck.app. Developerduck.app. Yeah, as far as I can tell, we're doing everything right. All of our frames, starting with a 0 timescale 12, value 1 timescale 12s. So this should always be 1. It's always lasting exactly 1/12 of a second. Your line is, as far as I can tell, we're doing everything right, has been the motto of my night. Trying to integrate CloudKit from a Swift data project. Oof. I don't know what these flags are. What are these flags on my CM time? I'm hoping that it's valid. CloudKit on top of Core Data or not necessarily? CloudKit and Core Data are pretty separate. There was a previous Cloud plus Core Data thing that worked together and everybody hated it. And so CloudKit was kind of the answer of like, nope, we're going to let people have more control over everything. Have a good night. You're headed to bed? I might be too in the very near future. I don't know what's going wrong. And I'm about ready to give up. But have a good night, Donuts. So we have a presentation time. It's got the right time. We've got a format description. We've got a frame duration. It's right. We assume our buffers are correct because they're the same buffers that we use elsewhere in our exporter. Yeah, these are right here. These obviously work because we're exporting them. And even like, we know that the presentation time is correct because we're using that too. So the trick would be, is our time base wrong? Our time base seems fine. I really don't know. I got nothing. Yeah, and their only example is, here's how to do audio. Hey, thank you for the follow, the man of nutrition. I mean, we can take a look at this. I don't think this is going to do what we want. Yeah, this is doing all kinds of weird stuff. I mean, this is using semaphores, so that it's got this kind of thing. Hey, thank you. Howdy indeed. Ooh, once the sample buffer serializer object receives a queue of items to play, it proceeds with the dual task of translating them into a series of sample buffers. Blah, 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 blah. Restart playback and continue playback. Yeah, what is this doing? Because this is in-queuing everything. This is retrieving sample buffers. Like, what is actually playing this? Okay, let's download this source code. Maybe this is actually helping. Okay, so can we tell it to stop requesting the media data and then flush? Is that what we need to do? Let's try that. So once we've enqueued everything, this is not a thing. Do you have a layer.enqueue sample buffer call? I do. It's right here. And that's where we then print the buffer enqueued. So that's all happening. But yeah, let's try this. Display Blair, sample buffer renderer. Where's my other Xcode? Stop requesting media data. Yeah, let's do that part. Display layer dot flush. See now, well actually, sample buffer render dot flush. So this doesn't have a flush from a given time the way the other one does. We can remove, yeah, and this also discards all pending and queued buffers. That's not what all we want. We don't want that. This is in the audio renderer. I mean, I know there is a video renderer. What does that do? Because this renderer is what we're getting off of the layer. I mean, I guess we could check the status. Why not? Let's check the status. All the time. Just constantly. Well, that's not helpful. I guess I want raw value. It looks like it's... Okay, so hold on. It's 0, then it's 0, then it's 1 all the way down. Okay. So what are those values? I'm assuming they are unknown rendering failed. Object is rendering the sample buffer. That, to me, implies that we should be seeing it. Am I wrong? If it's rendering it, where is it? Were you able to get the app in the App Store for the Vision Pro? I was. It is working. Hello, Adam NC. Flush after each in queue? We can try. I thought that said that was getting rid of everything. But we can try it. Z-order issue? Some of the layer on top? No, because the layer that's drawing it is that blue layer. So it's exactly what we see. Yeah, flush isn't doing anything. The renderer also apparently posts notifications, could listen to those and print status updates to see if they have more info. Okay. I nearly kicked this thing over. I should sit up correctly. Post notifications. What kind of notifications does it post? Did fail to decode notification. And that seems to be the only. Ooh, has sufficient media data for reliable playback start. Are we maybe never getting to there? That's the only notification I see. Did fail to decode. But if... I feel like if we were getting to there, then we would have that failed status. Is requires flush to resume ever true? Worth checking out. It seems like it is always false. The thing that I was thinking is maybe with this here, maybe it would be true beforehand and then it would be false. And really what I need to do is I need to enqueue it and then only flush it once at the end here. But it seems like it's always false. I might still try that thing. Yeah, let's put this here. Just to see if that does anything. No, because that would get rid of everything, right? That's not... There's no way that this is what we want. Why is stop requesting media called? Because that's what the other thing said. I mean, it wasn't working beforehand, but I'll get rid of it. That was what the other sample code was doing. That's the only answer I have for you. CM sample buffer set output presentation timestamp. Adjust the presentation time of this sample buffer from item relative to playback relative. I think this is only because they've got that whole playlist thing. I'm not entirely willing to throw that out, but I don't think that's awful. This is using one of those render synchronizers, but again, I don't know. Did the migration to VS Code Emacs not pan out? That was never really meant to be permanent, but I mean, it worked. I don't understand. None of this seems to be related to actually playing back anything. Also, I mean, the problem is their one sample code doesn't actually show video. I don't know what I'm doing. The other thing, okay, here, I'm going to try something completely different here. This is where we're going to go with this. We're going to go somewhere completely different. What's the thing that we need to handle? Like it's like layer did layout sublayers or something, like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Hey, thank you for the raid, the Coppinger. CA layer delegate. Yeah, this is what we're looking for. Layout sublayers of layer. That's what we're looking for. Hey, thank you for the follow, Joy Query. Man, we got all kinds of comments here. Thank you, thank you. I am trying to... Hey, thank you for the follow, Den Loganoff. I have an app for Apple Vision Pro that allows you to draw and animate simple animations. If that emote shows up as text, follow you. I'll have to check it out. But here, let's demonstrate what this app is supposed to do. For those of you new here, you can draw and put together these simple animations. It's for Apple Vision Pro, so we've got some 3D effects to it. And yeah, that's the whole thing. And then the feature that I'm trying to get working. Thank you for the follow, Buttermilk Pancake. feature that I'm trying to get working is right now you have the ability to share an animation like so. You can save it out and it saves out in a 3D mode. But the animation that we're saving looks kind of crummy. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build a... Oh yeah, it also doesn't work on the simulator. Pretend that worked. It looks kind of crummy, and I wanted to build a developer tool to allow me to kind of tweak that the output a little bit more. And yeah, it's been slow going. I have a version of this, if I can run it right now, that is using a different output mechanism. And if you share it here, should be showing up in here. We should be showing the preview that we have here. And we're not getting anything. So that's what I've been working on tonight, is trying to get that to actually display our preview and not nothing. But yeah, that's where we are right now. Any bugs with Apple's APIs constantly. Just constantly. So yeah, this blue box that we've got right here is supposed to show our preview. We've made it blue so that we can tell that there is something in here. And unfortunately, there's no actual content in here. You should see the blue, and then you should see that the sunflower animation over the top of it. And that's not what we're seeing. We're not seeing anything. Is it all Swift or Objective-C? It is all Swift. There's a... Is there any Objective-C in here? There was at one point. No, there's no Objective-C in here at all. There was at one point, but I got rid of it. So yeah, that's basically where we're stuck right now. Is trying to figure out why this preview code is not working anymore. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make a version of this that shows what we're actually exporting. So the view that I showed before, I've got like a feature flag basically here. The view that I had before that's previewing this view right here, is kind of completely fake. This is not showing what is actually going to be exported. This is basically taking the view that you can draw with and just showing a bunch of them in a row. And it's like, oh yeah, this will be what it looks like. It's not accurate. It's pretty close, but it's not completely accurate. And you can actually see this somewhat. Hang on, let me get this fixed up again. You can see this when you share. It zooms in and like cuts off part of the bottom. So that's not accurate to what it's supposed to be actually exporting. And so yeah, what we were trying to do is fix that, get a better previewer, show what's actually supposed to be showing. But for some reason we can't get it to work. Is it exporting a movie or a GIF? Right now it is exporting a movie. We have the ability to make it export all kinds of different things. But specifically what I'm trying to get it to export right now is a 3D movie. If I click share, I can actually pick the different versions that I have: spatial video, video, and GIF. And I can actually show that the other two work. Well, actually they all work. Hey, thank you for the follow, the Coppinger. They all work. The export's working fine. It's the preview that's not working fine. Yeah, if I do the video export, this should also work. The 3D export doesn't work in the simulator, but it does work on an actual device. But yeah, now if I go into here and I look at my files, here's our video version. Looks great. And here is our GIF version, which is just looping. But yeah, so those both work. And yeah, on the actual device, the 3D video also works. It's a limitation of the simulator that it doesn't work there. But yeah, the 3D video just doesn't look right. It's a little iffy, I guess would be the answer there. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to fix right now. Is I'm trying to get a better preview of it so that I can tweak those values. And also so that I can fix the fact that this preview is not an actual preview of what you're going to see. Unfortunately, we are having a heck of a time trying to get the preview that we're trying to show to actually show. And so, as you can see, by a whole lot of printing and a whole lot of try banging, there's a whole lot of like, what's going wrong here? And I have not had any luck. So I think the next thing that I want to test out, I wonder if there's a way for us to see how many buffers are actually enqueued. Can we tell that? It doesn't look like we can. It'd be amazing if this is actually working fine, except only on device. We did check that at one point. I can check it again, but I feel like it's not the case. Curious if it'd be possible to stream from AVP. So I can stream what the AVP sees. I've had that working a couple times. In fact, I did it earlier tonight. I mean, I can show off the app in the Vision Pro. I just look real dorky because I've got me in the corner wearing the thing. I can definitely show what it looks like to stream from the AVP. I even have, let's see if I can get this working. I even have my own Apple Vision Pro Twitch chat client. Well, client is a strong word. Previewer. So that I can actually still keep up with chat while using the Apple Vision Pro. So I got that running here. Let's go ahead and get this actual app running as well. Oops. Not in the simulator. I have to set all of this up in Xcode because once I actually start streaming, I can't see Xcode anymore. Did you get it as a dev kit? I did not. Nope, Apple didn't think I'm cool enough. I gotta wait for this to actually start running, which it looks like it's about to be good to do. Thank you for the follow, DocLock17. All right, here we go. Okay, so let me block it out because otherwise you get some pretty bad Hall of Mirrors effect. And yeah, so there you go. There's the app as it appears. I can move it around. Move Twitch chat over there. And let's see what this looks like in here. Oh, well, it's I forgot to turn on the new previewer. I'm assuming that I forgot to turn on the new previewer. Fix that up again. But yeah, if I share this here, this will save to my files. In theory. There we go. Yeah. So I got all my files in there too. But yeah, so let's actually get back to that doesn't work. As I say, let's get back to Xcode and let me try setting that other version back. And we will see if this is working in the other one yet or not. Yeah, Adam, if it turns out that it's working in the headset just fine at some point, and it just has not been working in the simulator because the simulator's been goofy, that's going to be a little bit annoying. All right, so let's test these again. Thank you for the follow. Again, I can't see anything, so thank you for the follow, somebody. I will give you a proper shout out when I can see my screen again. Yeah, see, we're still just getting this plain blue square. I'm not entirely sure what our bug is. That's still what we're trying to figure out. Oops. Again, I forgot to sign out before taking that off. Thank you for the follow. Restarted. Thank you. So yeah, that's where we're stuck. Now we could. I kind of almost want it. I'm at a point where I want to try to completely change the approach that I've been taking so far, which is to kind of try to render it as it's displaying, and almost like because we have the ability to export this out to a file. I kind of wonder, like, what happens if I just export this out to a file and then view the file? That's not ultimately what I want to do, because I want the ability to kind of change things on the fly, and I don't think that that's going to work if I have to save it out, then do something, save it out, then do something. But it would work, which is not currently a thing that we can do. So I'm going to try that. The other problem with that one is that it won't work at all in the simulator, which means I have to run on device anytime I want to even preview my export. But it might be worth it at this point, considering we've been making no progress for 2.5 hours. But yeah, let's try that. I'm gonna go ahead and let's just comment everything out again. Just comment out the whole file. I want to bring this back though, because this was definitely, I think this was a better setup. We found lots of light bulbs that don't work. Exactly. Have I? Yes, I have screwed something up. Hold on, let's get this one down here. So yeah, what I'm thinking is we actually do just export this to a file. Because here's the problem. Oh, this is actually going to the temporary directory. This is already going to the temporary directory? Oh, dang. Like, this may have been a much better idea from the very beginning. Oh well. Video exporter 3D. Hey, thank you for the follow, Tectonic Earth. So result here, video export result is a URL or an error. So I'm thinking, let's just not do anything on catch right now. Get our URL. And then we're going to make our layer class not a sample buffer display layer, but rather a AV player layer. AV player layer dot self, sorry. Actually put this up here. So given that we have a display layer, we get our URL, we get our display layer's player. So wait, why did this not need a self before? Here, we're just gonna do this way. Player dot current item equals AV player item URL. Nope. Player dot replace current item with. Or maybe I should try setting the player. Oh, here's what we should do. Let's try that. I definitely need to figure out a better way to route this around my desk. Whoop. See? This is the Hall of Mirrors effect that I was warning about. It's nice that it just automatically reconnected, though. It just wasn't what I wanted in that particular case. Waiting for this to install is not fun. That's why I usually use the simulator, as opposed to just wearing the headset the whole time. Simulator installs a lot faster. Okay, now let's try to get this working. All right, let's try this again. Come on. I believe in you. I'm wondering if it crashed. Yeah, I feel like it must have crashed. All right, we're gonna sign back out. Oh, hey, no, it's just incredibly slow. Also, ugly as sin. Also, not 3D. So we got a bunch of problems. Oh, dang it. Disconnect. So yeah, now I have no idea what we're doing. Video exporter 3D. So this must be indicating that AV Player does not play spatial video? That doesn't seem right. Why don't we go look at the destination video sample code and see what they're doing. Because that very quickly doesn't sound right. AV Player View Controller. AV Player View Controller only supports displaying 2D content when embedded in line. What does that mean? Playing 3D content in your app requires that you display AV Player View Controller full window. The recommended way to present the player for full window playback is to set it as the root view of your app's window group. Okay. Modal in window versus a child controller. Yeah. So that means we would need to switch from using an AV player to using an AV player view controller. We would need to set our AV player view controller as the root of our window. Which to me almost means like we should be displaying it in a separate window. When you present the player this way, the system automatically docks it into the ideal viewing position and presents streamlined playback controls that keep the person's focus on the content. Which almost indicates to me that even if we got sample buffer renderer working, sorry, sample buffer display layer working, I don't know that it would play 3D video. I think with that note, I'm going to call it a night. I think that we've got too many now unanswered questions. I will be back Monday night, my usual time, 7 p.m. Pacific. We'll continue working on this, but I feel like we're in a rut at this point, and I don't really know how to get back out of that. So I'm going to need some time to kind of figure out what our plan is, knowing these things that we've just learned tonight. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Thanks again to Coppinger for the raid. Thanks to all of the followers. There were a lot of them tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, we'll definitely be back to this. I'm not gonna give up entirely. I'm just giving up for tonight. If you're new here and you would like to see some of the past work that we've done on this, a lot of my channel, or a lot of my past VODs are up on YouTube at youtube.com/@cocotype. I can post that to the channel. And we also have a Discord. You can go check out the Discord. It's not just my Discord. It's several Swift streamers are out here doing a lot of iOS, tvOS, various OS, Apple OS streams out there, and we kind of all share Discord to, yeah, we are Legion, exactly. Notify here is one of them. You can check out his stream. You can also check out Compile Dev's stream, which is actually Compile Dev now and not Compile Swift. Sorry. Maybe if you click that link, it'll take you to the right place. Maybe it won't. If it's not, replace the word Swift with Dev, and I need to update my streams there. But yeah, definitely recommendations for everybody. So have a good time. I hope you all have a great weekend. Goodbye. Oh. Okay. Raid suggestion, sure. We'll pay it forward. Let's do that. I'll raid forward. Oops. Made our music way too loud. Hold on. Let me do a quick preview that this isn't something sketchy. This is intended for certain audiences, and it's got a whole lot of things on there, so I think I'm gonna skip that one. But yeah, let's go find somebody else to raid. Let's do that. I don't normally do random raids, but let's go find some random raids. Dead by Daylight, so I understand completely. Thank you. Thank you for being understanding. But we can go find somebody else in the software and development sphere. Who do we got? Oh, Quantum Apprentice. Quantum Apprentice is great. Let's go raid Quantum Apprentice. I think Nutterfy is friends with Quantum Apprentice, right? All right. I'm going to let that raid happen. Thank you all again. See you soon.